Shalom, Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom to you fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. Shalom to the few Akwaf that believe as well. Shalom to you other laborers and believers that are scattered throughout the face of the earth, even if you're among the heathen, and even like the heathen who be the speckled bird Israelites. To the household of faith, which is the elect, I want to say shalom. Back at you with another quick Lord willing edifying lesson, and I entitled this video based on the book of Isaiah 16 in verse 6, and it speaks about what the pride of Moab, which are the so-called Chinese, because you look at what they're doing, they're trying to position themselves to become the next superpower in the earth, but they are sadly mistaken, all right, or gravely mistaken, I should say, because the nation that will rule next and forever and will not come down or be diminished will be the nation of Israel by default, because the kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites to rule under our Lord Yahweh Shai. So for these heathen nations that think they're going to rule next, you're going to come to the realization that you are nothing but a servant, all right, and only will be that, that status of a servant to the Lord's people, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American people, which were the true biblical Israelites according to the Bible, all right, according to biblical prophecy. So without any further ado, woe unto thee, Moab. Okay, because like I said, you're not going to rule next. Let me get this real quick, because right now you have the nation of Esau, Edom, that's ruling. Okay, and the scriptures tell you who's going to rule next. Okay, 2 Ezra 6 and verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Matter of fact, let me see what it says on the GNT. I'm curious. Let me see. They try to charge me to read that damn article. Anyways, though, Shalakia. Bastards. Let me see what it says on the GNT. I'm just curious. Okay. All right. 2 Ezra 6, verse 7 on the GNT. It says, And I asked, How long a period of time will divide the ages? See, what does it mean when it say ages? Rulership. Okay. Empire, right? When will the first age end and the next age begin? He answered, The interval will be no longer than that between Abraham and Abraham. It says he was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau, and when they were born, Jacob was holding Esau's heel. Esau represents the end of this age, right? So that's the whole point. Esau represents the end of this age. This is the age we're in. Okay, who's ruling Babylon the Great? Right? Who's ruling over this beast system that's in place? Which is, the same old beast system that was implemented during the Greeks and Romans, which we say, the Greco-Roman era. But it was the Edomites. And the Edomites came back in power during the Renaissance. And they're still in power right now. So again, Esau represents the end of this age. And we're at the very end of this age. That's why everything in his society or his kingdom or his age is breaking down. All right, and the word age will be oikumene in the Greek, by the way. It says, and Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. So that's what it is, man. All right. Jacob, whose name changed to Israel, which represents us Israelites, we're the next age, man. You Moabites don't have a fucking shot, man, or a chance at ruling. Though you think so by the business deals you've done with Babylon, And that's why you're thinking like that. Okay? Let's play this clip real quick. Fair use, by the way. I want to say my videos are not monetized. I don't make any compensation off these videos. Only for literary commentary and educational purposes. So with that, fair use. Under 1976 Fair Use Act, Section 107, fair use. Let's play this clip.
The Iranian government is considering allowing oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz on one condition. They trade in Chinese yuan. Now, you might wonder that this is just another de-dollarization rhetoric, but it's not, ladies and gentlemen. If Iran is able to pull this off, it could seriously damage the dollar-led US financial order, much more than all the rhetorics in the last 5 years.
And so that's what you have going on. The yuan is being used as a payment method for basically Iran, which is Persia, business partners that they're doing business with. They're allowing you can do trade and business through the yuan, which is what strengthening the so-called Chinese, which is Moab, their currency. And so it looks as though the Moabites, or so-called Chinese, is on the rise as this, as the next global superpower or hegemon. Okay, and for some time they've been talking about, oh, China is going to rule next. They're going to take over. China's not going to take over. Are they one of the superpowers on the earth right now, as far as the nations that is powerful, as far as, has a military, have nuclear weapons, all that stuff, has a strong economy? Yes, no, absolutely. But that doesn't mean you're going to rule next. See? And it's all because China have been doing business with Babylon, so much so that they think that they figured out how to overdo what Babylon have did. Because why? They become strong through Babylon. Let's get this precept real quick in the book of, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. The yuan is backed by gold, all that, right? But to no avail. You will not rule, man. Your position will be that of a slave to us, Israelites. See? 2nd Ezra 15. I'm starting at verse 46. It says, "And thou, Asia," who's the strongest nation in Asia? It'd be China. That's the obvious. It's surely not Japan or Korea or any of those other, countries. But it's China. China does a lot of business through pretty much every country or nation. So its economy is very strong. And if you don't, for our people, if you don't know the scriptures or know the truth, you would think they would come up, or will be on the come up, rather, seeing, how they looking financially or economically and militarily. You would think so. But it's not so. But it's just them, showing you the pride of them, positioning themselves like they're going to rule next. No. You're going to be used for the Most High's purpose, and that's it. And that's to help destroy Babylon. It says, and thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person, right? Because you think about everything that China's done, with Babylon, as far as the goods that it makes and sells to Babylon. Why do you think you see so much stuff that's made in China? That made China, very strong. Because why? U.S. depend on its goods. The U.S. depend on China goods overwhelmingly. Of all the merchants that sell to Babylon, the main merchant that sells to Babylon would be China. You know? And that's why they can put tariffs back on American goods. You know, when Donald Trump will put tariffs, which is an increased tax upon goods coming from China, what did China do? They return tariffs as well upon U.S. goods that come from U.S. to, or Babylon to China. Okay? Verse 47, woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. So basically, you know, China is positioning itself, you know, as far as even I would say this too, technology. You know, your technology is mainly made in China, and they have a digital system as well. You know, the yuan is digital. Okay, because what you're going to find out is that all these countries have the digital, or have their currency digitized, because that's the new thing, man. That's the new thing, or that's going to be the thing in the earth, is that the digital system will be fully implemented by way of the MOTB. All right, the MOTB will be the new payment system. It says, and also too, matter of fact, let me make this point too before I continue on. Also, when you look at China, they as far as technology, they're always looking to be ahead in the tech world. You know, even your phone's made in China. You know, your hard drives to your computer and phones, shit made in China. You know, they even spy on you through these devices. So China is pretty puffed up in pride. It says, verse 48, thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith the Most High, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Hey, you're gonna face evil as well, man. Pretty much. Because widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, that's coming to Asia. So that includes all the countries, though, including China. You see what happened with the Wuhan lab leak? It happened where? Or where was it created? In China, according to mainstream news media outlets, all of them. Wuhan. Where's Wuhan? Over in China. So you've gotten to the same diabolical chemical warfare as Babylon, even. You know, so the Lord's going to punish you too. Okay, it says, verse 50, and the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower, and the heat. It says the heat shall arise that is sent over thee. Right, which is you're gonna be destroyed as well, man. As far as your military and shit like that. You know, your economy is gonna go down too. The global economy is gonna go down. You know, and your position gonna be what? Again, that of a slave, a servant, same thing. Okay? That's what's coming to you Moabites. Isaiah 16 and verse 6. We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud. Why he's proud? He has ice or hypersonic ICBM missiles. You know? He has the he has what the biggest military personnel in the whole world. They had like what over let me see. So we have over 2 million. Yeah, because I knew it's 2 million. I won't get the right number though. So as of 2025 to 2026, the Chinese military, known as the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, maintains the world's largest active standing force with approximately 2.035 million active personnel. These forces are actively undergoing modernization, focusing on increasing naval and air strength while maintaining a massive land army supported by around 510,000 reserve personnel. You know, so they puffed up. You know, they are a superpower in the earth, as far as the strength of it. They are one of the world's superpowers, or how you say it. Well, yeah, it's a superpower, man. All right, as far as they call superpowers. They'll call a superpower nation. A nation that has strong military, strong economy. Can affect the global order. Or can affect the status quo. They look at China as that. But we that know this truth, this knowledge, we know that it's just nothing but pride. So it says, we have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath. But his lies shall not be so, right? Because the Lord ultimately is going to bring lamentations, mourning, and woe to you as well. Verse 7, therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Everyone shall howl for the foundations of Kahar or Kahareseth shall ye mourn. Surely they are stricken. Right? You're gonna find out that the Lord is against you, as well as these other heathen nations, man. That's what's coming. Because you thinking that, hey, America is finished, right? Babylon is finished, right? We have what? The strongest military. Well, we have the largest military. We can invade, take over. Because that's how these nations think. Or we're gonna invade them, or we're gonna position ourselves so we can reign next. But Yahweh Shai is going to reign next. Okay, Yahweh Shai is going to reign. That's why he's coming back to put down all you kings of the earth, man. All you nations rulers, man. That's Yahweh Shai's position, to take down Edom. That's why you read Isaiah 63. It says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom?" Remember that Edom's age is now. And the end of Edom's age is at hand. And it said what? That Jacob is going to be the next age to begin. See? Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine the vain thing? Yeah, like you got them Moabites. Even you Russians, man. Any of you nations that's thinking that or the country in your mind that you could potentially rule next, you're going to be mistaken on so many levels. You're going to find yourself in a weak position, because Yahweh Shai coming back, and he got vengeance in his heart, along with the angels going to be with him, man. The archangels and all the rest of the angels, because the ultimate superpower on high is going to take over. So you thinking you're going to rule next is very vain. What does vain mean? Empty. Let me look up the word vain. I'm at work too, so slack you for the noise you may hear in the background. This is vain from Google. Vain typically, well, no. Let's get the meaning. Well, you know what? It says the same thing. Vain describes someone with excessive pride, Moab, in their appearance or achievements. Right. Because you've achieved a lot through your technology. People look at, so-called Chinese kids as the smartest kids, And that's because of all lies, man. The smartest people on earth, or the most intelligent people on earth, all right, or creative people on earth are us Israelites, man. Period. And you didn't create no fucking calculator. The Chinese calculator. No, Issachar created that. Which is what? One of the 12 tribes of our nation. It says, excessive pride in their appearance or achievements, conceited or something that is futile, useless, or producing no result. Exactly. All right. Worthless, same thing, man. So your whole hopes of ruling next is vain, is hopeless, is worthless, man. All right. Verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, which his anointed is Yahweh Shai, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Right, you think you think you're going to deviate from the Lord's will. But the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai, or by way of sending Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son, back to take you down, it's going to be the end result, man. You're going to see just how much power you really had to begin with. Because to man, it's not you powerful, man. To the average person, right? But to those of us that know this truth, we like, man, we laugh at you. We like, man, if only they knew. Verse 7, verse 4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Right. And that's why we laughing at your ass. Because we know our power going to take you down. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Right. Because that's going to be what? Him destroying you and your little futile attempt to take over anything. That's why he's going to help gather you Moabites along with the rest of the nations. He's going to gather all the heathen nations, right? Into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat and judge you. There dies all you heathens' armies and so-called power that you think you have. Because the King of Kings is coming back. I don't give a damn how many people or nations do business through this yuan. You would not rule next so-called Chinese people, which are really Moab in the Bible. You would not rule. It says that Moab shall do my watch. What it says, Moab shall do my wash pots. Roughly paraphrasing. It's in Psalms. It says in a couple verses, but I'm gonna see if I can find it here real quick. You would not rule again. I'm sorry, not again, but you would not rule at all. And let me say this too. The Lord, see, you read Judges the 3rd chapter, right? When Eglon fat ass came up against us and was oppressing our people and ruling our people, roughly 18 years or so. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And you Moabites led us in captivity, man. So you got to go into captivity, which is slavery. Let me see. Psalm 68, Moab. I'm going to read the NLT. Psalm 68 on the NLT. Matter of fact, what the GNT say? And if the NLT say that, let's see what the GNT say. Slavery coming back in a major way. We're going to have plenty of slaves, man. Because you heathen, all you heathen going to be our slaves. So, yeah, man. I like the NLT. Psalm 60 and 8 on the NLT. But Moab, my wash basin, my wash basin will become my servant. See? Again, what's the word servant mean? You look up the word servant. No. Came up with some other shit. I'm trying to look for a meaning. No, that's kind of soft. I want the real. No, I want the answer. I don't want no soft ass answer. I want to say what it's supposed to say. All right, here we go. Okay, this is servant from the online etymology dictionary. It says male or female person, personal or domestic attendant, one owing duty of service to a master or lord. Oh, we're gonna be master and lords over you, heathen, man. Oh, you better believe it, man. We're gonna be master and lords over you, man. One employed by another and subject to his orders. Yeah, we're gonna have you as our subjects, all you heathen. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. It says a slave. A slave. That's the real definition or meaning of a servant. It's a slave. When you have a lord and master over you, that person's a servant, a slave. That's your master. He's lord over you. He's ruling over you. We're going to rule over you, heathen. Okay? And dare any of you heathen to try to rebel against our rule. Let me get something real quick. Isaiah 60, I'm going right to the point. Isaiah 60 and 12, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. You read the NLT, for the nations that refuse to serve you will be destroyed. So try to come against our rule. Try it. When we rule over you, I dare you Moabites get proud. Matter of fact, not I, Shalakia, we gonna dare you Moabites, or the rest of you fucking heathen to get proud. You're gonna be beaten to nothing. It says you're gonna be destroyed. The Lord gonna put his anger and fury in us. Are you kidding me? You don't know the Lord's anger and fury, but you're gonna find out. Because even when I see you Moabites, when I'm out my daily, going about wherever I'm gonna go, you got that proud ass look on you. But see the Lord is gonna give us that power, man. Okay? The Lord's gonna give us that power to rule over you and break you. Okay? What's that? Revelation 2. We're gonna break you. We're gonna break your will, man. We're gonna break your fucking wheel. Hey, man, we're gonna break your fucking wheel, Moab. And the rest of you, Ishmael, all you, man. This is Revelation chapter 2 and 26. And he that overcometh, and this is to us Israelites, by the way. This is to the elect Israelites. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Okay? So we're going to have power over the nations, man. The heathen nations, man. Okay? Giving us by Yahweh Shai, man, ordained by Yahweh himself, the Most High. And that's why we're looking to hasten the day of our Lord's coming, because we're going to be set over you, to rule over you. You're going to serve us whether you like it or not, because it's going to be by force. Thus said the God of the Bible, the God of Israel. You know? So, yeah, man, that's what's coming. So enjoy your little moment of pride or haughtiness, because it will be brought to naught. All right, it will be brought to naught real soon. The Lord's going to do away with all that pride. It says that the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. Let me get that real quick, and I'm going to close. Yeah, Isaiah 2:17, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. So with that, Lord willing, you've been edified. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises again to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Shalom to you fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. Shalom to the Fuak Waf. Hey, we got next, and that's all to be said, man. Shalom and Kwame Sha'Allah.